What's going on? It's Kevin Kenny. We're live in New York for another edition of the Build Series, and the NFL playoffs are heating up, and the league has just announced their songs of the season, one of which is by my guest today. He's a Grammy Award winner who's also working on a new album, a new book. There's lots to talk about. Give it up for Lecrae.
What's going on? What's happening? Good to be here.
Welcome back to Build, man. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you.
There's just so much I don't even know how you do it. We'll get into your time management skills in a second. But let's talk about, I'm happy to hear you're an NFL fan, you're a football fan.
Yeah.
And this was just be like the coolest honor as a fan for your work to be recognized by the NFL.
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah, I mean, it's massive. Obviously, being a sports fan, being a football fan, and just being, behind the scenes, rooting for people and teams, and it's that knowing that players use your music, but the NFL as a whole using the music, knowing that it's going across the league, it's awesome.
Right. It's reaching a huge audience. And let's really talk about the honor, because your song will be heard across multiple broadcasts heading into the Super Bowl, but it's so much more than just people hearing your music. It's really what your music stands for, what you as an artist stands for.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the initiative Songs of the Season?
Yeah, so that's one of the most compelling parts for me is that Songs of the Season uses songs that inspire change, and on top of that, all the proceeds from the song actually goes toward community transformation, educational reform, social justice, lots of different initiatives taking place just from the proceeds of the song. So that was a huge inspiration for me, and why I was excited to be a part of it.
Well, it's so cool because everything you just said almost reads like how I think of you and what you stand for as an artist. Yeah. Have you always been like that? I know, I think at the top of your list is probably to inspire, to affect change, to impact communities. Were you like that, though, when you were starting out, or is that a journey to sort of the wisdom you have today?
Yeah, well, I come from a disenfranchised background, and so when you come from that, during my spiritual transformation, I really wanted to use the gifts that God given me to give back and to reach back into the places that people have forgotten about, and so that's always been a part of my DNA, a part of my ethos, just to give back and get reconnected. And that's a lot of what this song, "Get Back Right," was about, is because I had tasted the taste of success, and you get a little full and content. And the song was really like, man, it's time to get back right, get back to doing the things that make a difference in society.
Right.
Yeah.
And listening to Rick James in traffic. A little bit about that. I like that line.
Yeah.
How did they go about, you just such an obvious pick when you consider the initiative, but the song specifically, I mean, was this a collaborative process between you and the NFL of what song of yours you're going to use, or?
You know what, it was really, it was really a God thing, because I was in the studio with Zaytoven. We had cooked up this song, and then the NFL had reached out wanting to use music for the season, and this was the song that they resonated with. Right. And I think, for me, like I said, the song is about getting back right. And, obviously, January on top of that is when everybody should be getting back right. It's time to get off the fried chicken, get back in the gym, get back right. But then, of course, it's just, it's like, hey, y'all, let's get to it. Let's get to making a difference in society. Let's get to making some change in this world.
Right. Yeah. You said it was somewhat of a God thing, that it was very organic, And I was just watching the Rap Radar interview with Drake, and he was talking about some of his biggest hits being, almost like from a higher power in terms of how organic they were, right? Yeah. How hard is it as an artist that's striving for success in hip hop or in any sort of music to fight that desire to force things and let things be organic? That's got to be tough, right?
Yeah, I think you have to learn to be comfortable in your own skin, and I think whenever you're passionate about something, obviously you're gonna be vocal about it, and so my passion for my faith makes me vocal about it. But at the same time, you also understand that that there are different people at different places in their journey. You know what I mean? And I'm no better than any of them, so I never want to give off the idea that I'm some kind of condemning figure. I want to help, I want to serve, I want to enlighten and inspire. But it is because people have a lot of misgivings and preconceived ideas about what it means to have faith, and it's like all kinds of stipulations, and people are afraid. And a lot of times it's just getting to know people and just letting them see, let my light shine through my character, through my communication and my love for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you so I mean you seem very open-minded nowadays. Do you ever find that your faith factors into your choice of who you collaborate with, or are you able to sort of not pass judgment?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I don't look at music as a pulpit when I'm doing collaborations. I look at it more like a conversation. And so I can have a conversation. I could be sitting in a room with people from different walks of life, different beliefs, and we have a conversation. I have friends who are, Muslim, Jewish, and we can have a conversation. And in a sense, I'm recording that conversation when I get on a song with somebody. They have different, various perspectives, but mostly they just really respect what I stand for. This is really what it comes down to. When I was in the studio working on my album, and I'm in there with everybody from Ty Dolla $ign to Killer Mike, and they all just respect where I'm at, even if they're not on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
How long have you known Zaytoven?
Me and Zay go back, oh, man, some years now, man.
You're saying you've been in Atlanta like 10 years. Like,
Yeah.
have you almost like
Yeah,
full
it's
10 years?
What a lot of people don't know about Zay is Zay. We have an artist on Reach Records called 1K Few, and Zay was like a mentor to him. Zay kind of found him before he was signed to us, and so and there was some mutual kind of connection there. And then of course, just being on the east side of Atlanta, I was on the east side of Atlanta, and then Zay was working with Gucci Mane, who was like literally up the street from, went to school up the street from where I lived. And so it was a lot of mutual connections. And when Zay was kind of like wondering like, hey, what do you think if we work together? I was like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. I was excited to work with him.
So this, I forget if we mentioned it or not, but Get Back Right is off of this joint project you guys did as, him the sole producer and you, of course, the sole artist. Do you like working in that capacity? It almost reminds me of like when Jay worked with No ID on 44. You know what I mean? It's probably very focused, right?
It's something special when you find chemistry with the producer. You know what I mean? Because, a lot of people don't know I was a producer before I was a rapper. So I was in Texas. I was producing for a lot of different artists and just trying to, back in the day, I was just like happy for my song to be on a Paul Wall or, somebody's album like that. But then as I graduated and just realized like I had something to say as well, I started trying to rap over my own production, and my goal was to be like Pharrell. Pharrell was like my mentor, idol type of person. So when you lock in with that one producer, for me it's special because I know what I want because I was a producer as well. And so when you find somebody who can kind of like make that musical bed to what you want to say, it's special. Yeah. It's really, really special. It's like just some people can make good macaroni and cheese, but their biscuits is terrible. You know what I mean? It's like you just want that right combination. It's like, this is gonna work right here. So yeah.
Why not lead with rap when you're just coming up? Was it a confidence issue? Was it you never saw yourself as a rapper, as an artist?
No, I wanted to do everything. When I was a kid, I just was an entertainer. I loved to entertain. A lot of people don't know. I actually I went to it was in the hood, but it was a performing arts school. So I went to performing arts school, and and I just got exposed to so much stuff, and just getting exposed to the arts in general had me excited. So by the time I got to high school, I wanted to just run off to New York and go to NYU and just become like, an actor or something like that. My mama didn't have that NYU money, but at the end of the day, I just always wanted to entertain and be in the arts.
So then what's the first song that really starts to speak to you? Or maybe it's an artist. You mentioned Pharrell. Is it those early Neptunes records? Or
Pharrell in general just speak, because Pharrell is just an all-around artist, and you can't like box him in. You know what I mean? Is he hip-hop? Is he pop? Is he rock? He's just got all these different types of flavors. And for me, I feel like a big thing for me is intersectionality. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's the Christian guy. And absolutely, I'm never going to be ashamed of my faith, but I'm very intersectional. And so just because I come from the hood or I'm world travel doesn't mean I'm just this world travel kind of like eclectic person, or I'm just this hood dude either. Just because I went to college, doesn't mean I'm just gonna nerd out and just use all kind of different vernacular on my songs that you wouldn't understand. There's an intersectionality between all those places, so we all meet in the middle in different places, and that's how I approach my music, is just trying to help people find that intersection. Some people didn't know how can you be a black man who loves Jesus? Or how can you be, a Christian in social justice? Or how can you be a rapper, but, you like, I don't know, whatever rappers are not supposed to like. You know what I'm saying? I drink green tea and meditate. Help me understand what's going on? And I'm just like, man, it's intersectionality. I'm being myself. This is all of me.
When you first started getting that backlash, if you want to call it backlash, right? Like,
Yeah.
were you that confident in yourself? Because
No.
now you can go, oh, those are those people's insecurities being projected onto
Right.
me because they can't understand. They couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So they don't understand how you could do that.
Yeah.
But at first, that must have angered you.
Yeah, I mean, no, at first it's not anger. At first, because you're not confident, it's just insecurity.
Right.
So I was uber insecure. So when you're insecure, you just try to hide it. It'd be like, yo, aren't you? I mean, yeah, whatever you need me to be, man. You know what I mean? Just don't hate me. You're just worried about everyone's perception of you. And then it moves from insecurity to anger because you're just so tired of hiding yourself and having to turn on and turn off, and then people's making fun. I mean, I used to go to radio stations and it'd just be like, yo, man, what you doing with those shoes on? Where your choir robe at? And I'm just like, I'm gonna punch you in your face and then pray later. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt internally. But then after a while, it does turn into confidence. It's just like, you know what? That's like you said, that's your insecurities you're projecting on me, or your perspectives, limited perspectives, and I'm just here to break those molds and stereotypes.
When you look back at your career, and even probably something you still go through now, whether there's this, do you find there's this underlying tension to the creative process because of sort of what you want to call it, an intersectionality, or your relation to the larger culture you're a part of, whether it's hip hop in you or whether it's church in you? Do you feel like there's a tension, and if there is, do you feel it's a beneficial tension that can lead to greatness?
Yeah, I mean, I think in anything it's a tension. I think tension is healthy. I think we're afraid of tension, but tension is healthy. Tension is how we live life. I think we're in pursuit of this balance, and I think balance is like it's just like it's a false ideal. Like you don't have it all balanced out. You know what I mean? Like it's just everything's gonna just be perfect. And that's just not true. It may be no traffic outside, but it's cold. It may be cold, but it's no traffic. The sky's clear, but somebody just cussed you out. It's just, you live in the tension. And so for me, I'm okay with living in the tension because it makes you better. It makes you stronger. It helps you endure. It helps you to understand more of who you are and what you can navigate through. Right. Yeah.
You're working on a new album.
Yeah.
It's the 9th studio album?
I don't even keep counting anymore,
Right,
bro.
yeah.
I'm like, what? I don't know.
Right.
That's funny. Yeah. I'm just glad I'm still here.
Yeah, exactly, right?
You know
The
what I mean?
longevity.
Yeah.
How far into the album are you? What can you tell us about the new album?
Oh, yeah. I mean, why not? I get the name of the album. The name of the album is called Restoration.
Okay.
And I'm pretty far into it. I've been working with everybody, a lot of my favorite producers. But again, this album is really special to me because I never know if I'm gonna make another album again. You know what I mean? So I'm treating this as if it's my last because you just never know. And for me, this album is special because I've grown a lot. I've overcome just some insurmountable odds, and I really don't care. I really don't care about playing the game anymore. So for me, I want people to experience healing and restoration. And one of the big inspirations for a lot of this project was sitting in, obviously a lot of people know Steph Curry's a good friend of mine, and seeing his wife Aisha kind of be very transparent in public and get like ridiculed for it. And I was like, what? Wait, since when is it like wrong to admit you don't have it all together and you're trying to figure stuff out? And to me, if dependence is the goal, then weakness is our advantage. And so we can't grow unless we can admit we're weak. You don't go to the trainer and talk about I'm strong, I got it all together, I don't know what I'm in here for. It's like you admit your weaknesses and you need some help. I've experienced that restoration mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and I want other people to experience it too. So that's why I worked on this album. Yeah.
Now you're simultaneously working on a new book too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you balance those two out? Because in both, right, you're telling a story, you're telling your story.
Yeah.
How do they compare and contrast?
Oh, man, you got to live in the tension.
Yeah.
It's really kind of crazy. I don't know, man. I mean, honestly, I just tried to balance it out as much as I possibly could. I tried to do as much of one thing as I could at a time and put something else down. And I think that's the best way to do it is just to, it's really, I mean, we just creatives don't prioritize well, so I just have people in my life to help me prioritize. That's really what it comes down to. If you got people in your life to prioritize well, you can kill it at a lot of stuff.
Which is key.
Yeah, big time.
Super. Before we turn over to the fans, you're also, in addition to the songs of the season, you're also involved with 2 other initiatives I think are really great, and I'd love to talk about. Man Up.
Yeah.
And This is Fatherhood.
Oh yeah. This is Fatherhood campaign. You know, was a unique opportunity. Again, I when it comes to like societal involvement and societal change, those are things that I take very seriously. And just coming from, you know, a fatherless background, coming from a very disenfranchised background in a lot of ways, I always want to reach back in and give back. And so for me, those campaigns are opportunities for me to give back. Man Up just being an ongoing, lifelong campaign for me to take young boys and who, you know, obviously don't have good role models and kind of lead them into the men that they need to be. And some of that means going into juvenile detention centers and prisons and so on and so forth. And then This is Fatherhood is just, I think we're doing a great job. You know, if people over the years have struggled to see fathers of color really, you know, be looked upon as responsible and involved. And I think, man, that whole image has been changed. You know, shout out to my man Belief in Fatherhood. He's a great YouTuber who's an amazing father, and just some other people like that. And I'm just glad to be a part of something like that as well. Yeah,
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Let's kick it to some fans right now. The first is going to come from right behind me. Front row, maybe?
Oh yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
You're clearly very passionate, and you talk a lot about your faith and your community work. But beyond that, what kind of things feed you?
Oh, what kind of things feed me? I love, like, I made a commitment to myself to read 12 books this year. So I want to read about sociology and anthropology. I love studying culture. You know, I think Nipsey Hussle is somebody that I felt like, you know, and we interacted a couple times, but not enough. I felt like that would have been somebody I could have been great friends with because there was so many mutual, like, lines of connectivity. But just understanding society, understanding culture, understanding how things work culturally and anthropologically is very, very, very big for me. It feeds me, wakes me up. I could read every book Malcolm Gladwell ever wrote and be a happy person. Yeah.
You read his new one. There's got a Talking to
I just
Stranger.
ordered it,
Yeah.
and I haven't read it yet. So don't tell me about it.
No.
All right, cool.
All right, we got time for one more question from the fans. Where's that going to come from?
That'd be me. Hi, Lecrae.
Hey.
My question for you is, who is your dream collaborator in music?
Sheesh, dream collaboration in music. Oh, man, that's tough. I mean, I would say just because, you know, I didn't grow up listening to, like, traditional gospel music or anything, to always say the first gospel album I ever heard as a kid or whatever was Lauryn Hill's Miseducation, Lauryn Hill. So her album just changed my life, you know. So Lauryn Hill would probably be like a dream collaboration for me because she's just so profound. Yeah.
Awesome, great question. All right, we're unfortunately out of time. It went by very fast, but come back anytime, man. This is great.
Absolutely.
Keep your ear out for Get Back Right on the NFL playoffs, and of course, the new album on the way, new book on the way. Give it up for Lecrae one more time, guys.
Yeah.